Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song Leave Me Alone by NF from his album The Search. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. We won't always get it right, but we will always learn something. That's the new model. So, model? Motto. It's a motto, not a model. So let's get in, see what's all going on with this song. All right, Leave Me Alone is a track where NF responds to fame, which is personified and originally referenced in the 2018 single No Name and Why. He wants his fame to leave him alone and goes more in depth about his mental health. On July of 2019, 2 days before the release of this album, The Search, NF teased the music video for the track, which the music video is available over on Patreon. Music video was shot at the abandoned Six Flags located in New Orleans, Louisiana. Who's the person dressed in all black behind NF? It's the older Nathan, same as from the Let You Down music video. He's shown in the video because, as much as he would like things to be different, Nate is expecting to deal with depression for the rest of his life. The balloons represent Nate's burdens, as reference to him pointing to them in the music video for The Search while rapping, leaving my burdens, well, I brought a few with me, I'm not perfect. Well, and even in this song, he talks about filling balloons. We'll have to go back because I can't remember the line, but we'll see it in a minute. The music video for Leave Me Alone appears to have Nate pass these burdens off to another person. However, this is not the case. Instead, he's finally accepting help in carrying and dealing with them. Okay. Oh, which some think is a reference to his return to therapy, which he spoke about in The Search. You got a lot in this song. Okay. Verse 1, panic-stricken, handle business, not a joke. Manners missing, travel different, no control. Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it close. So yeah, he came into this with a lot of attitude. My description, highly gifted, take some notes. Lack of interest, why'd you visit? Hit the road. So like, if you're not interested in what I've got going on, like why are you here? I'm kind of twisted, so keep your distance, be a ghost. Yeah, see, I'm inventive, but quite the menace. You ain't know? Well, then I'm offended. Let's jog your memories. Here we go. So then he recaps a little bit about himself and his career. I went from nobody to kind of famous. Hide my plaques inside the closet. I just can't explain it. So this feeling of why he keeps his plaques in there, which obviously a song about fame and his struggle with it, the glories and or maybe the joys and the sorrows that come along with fame. And I for him, I think it could be something negative, but it could be one of those things that just keeps him grounded, like you kind of have to let every person do what's right for them. It's like, dude, you should be proud of that. Hang it up. And there's a part of him that is proud of what he was able to accomplish, which we know from NF in his music and from what he shared, though, that like he's really about the music, not about the lifestyle, and loves creating, and that this is his therapy. And so for him, it may be the way that he combats that thing inside of him that wants to be drawn to the lifestyle of it is he's like, no, I keep them hidden away. For me personally, that's where they belong. My wife tells me she's proud and thinks I should hang them, but I just leave them on the ground right next to my self-hatred. So, there could be, again, a negative relationship with those things. Or it's like, no, he keeps the self-hatred put away with the fame. Because, too, with fame comes criticism, which criticism can drive your self-hatred and your insecurities. And so for him, it does sound like he's like, no, I keep them put in the closet, keep them on the ground away from me. Those aren't things I need to deal with. Mental health. Where's my mental health? Diagnosed with OCD. What does that mean? We'll gather around. So again, he's going to educate us a little. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That mean I love that, obsessively obsessed. Because some people obsess. OCD is obsessive obsessing. That means I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminating, fill balloons up full of doubts. See, that's that line I was talking about. And your burdens, doubts are burdens. Do the same things. If I don't, I'm overwhelmed. So this idea of OCD, like I'm assuming, is him having to do the same things, keep certain things in routine, or he's overwhelmed. And, obviously that can be taken to an unhealthy place. And I think that's where people that are diagnosed with OCD or struggle with OCD, obsessive obsessing, that's where it becomes really challenging. I think all of us, or most of us, feel better when we have routines and we have things we like to have in order. Like my wife, before she goes out to work, in the mornings, once we've done everything with kids and I take the kids to school, before she heads out, there are just set things that she does. She loves the house to be in order before she leaves, because when she gets home, we've got dinner, we've got homework, we've got sports, and then you're tired and she's still like got laundry going and things like that. So for her, I think it's like if she puts those things off, it's just going to like eat at her through the day. And then she's going to feel like she has to do it in the night or it's going to pile up. And so she's like very obsessive about certain chores being done every morning before she leaves the house. But I think for her, it is that thing that becomes healthy for her and she keeps it in check, because obviously you don't want, if you didn't get the vacuum one morning, you don't want that to ruin your whole day. That's where obsessive obsessing can become a bad thing. But I think as well, all of us like to keep certain things in order, and it makes us feel better, the ability to function. Thoughts are pacing. They go round and round and round. It's so draining. Let's move on to something else. Fine. Running the game, but they don't even know it. Like I'm undercover and don't want to blow it. I come out of nowhere, they don't even notice. The flow is so cold, you would think it was snowing. I'm under the weather, but wind isn't blowing. I got an umbrella for difficult moments. You got to admit it, I'm very devoted. I'm out in the rain, but it don't always open. Interesting. Let's see what this says. NF cleverly arranges the words in these lines and compares common phrases or objects to the weather. NF uses a hyperbole when talking about his cold flow, implying his audience would be so impressed by it they would think it was snowing. Under the weather is figurative language for someone experiencing difficult times and or low in spirits. NF wraps this phrase and backs it up with "but wind isn't blowing" to make a comparison between the figurative weather and the physical weather, expressing the idea his feelings are not dependent on the weather, which symbolizes his setting. Umbrellas, thank you for the definition of umbrellas. The difficult moments NF refers to are most likely mental. He uses an umbrella to protect himself from his own mental issues, such as fear. In trauma, it wants love, but I reject it, trade my joy for my protection. Interesting. Finally, when NF is out in the rain, he's further experiencing his mental health problems. Following into the track's pre-chorus, NF reacts to this by holding up his balloons, covering up his face. So yeah, I think this idea, like, I got an umbrella for difficult moments, is probably him learning how to handle certain things, right? If there are feelings that we have or struggles or burdens or whatever, especially with mental health, there are things you learn to cope or heal or protect, and that would be his umbrella. But then him saying, I'm out in the rain, but it don't always open. It's so true, right? That sometimes even despite what you should do or how you should feel, it's like, man, I can't. My umbrella won't open. Hold up my balloons, cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go and watch them float, but I'm scared if I do, I'll be more afraid. Tell them how I feel, but they don't want to change. Tell them how I feel, but they remain the same. Loosen up my grip. They say that's not okay. So it's even the burdens trying to tell him, like, no, you're better with me. And we've seen that, whether it's in the Fear EP or even in older things, him dealing with fear and this relationship with fear. Like, what are you going to do without me? Like, I got you here. I'm the one that inspired all this music. You just going to cut me out? I don't think so. And that's kind of the idea too, is this like loosening your grip, letting go of this place you've lived in for so long, even though you know it's going to be better for you. It's just like, I can't, because they're yelling back at me like, no, hold on to me. I've been here with you. This is your comfort zone. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Okay, leave me alone. Verse 2. I hate when they debate if we're underrated. We're so overlooked that they're looking over our numbers, Nathan. We don't do enough interviews or go out in public lately. We don't post enough on our socials to keep the buzz from fading. Let it fade. Once it's decimated. So once he seems to be forgotten, then you drop a song out of nowhere and all the fans embrace it. Then the buzz will surface again. It's part of my operation. So this way of like releasing music, disappearing. Everybody's talking about it. Maybe he's doing some things here and there, but then he just kind of like goes away to work and then releases it again. Just curious. Okay, so as of late 2024-25 is estimated to be around $10 million to $12 million net worth. So listen, if I have a net worth, let's just say it's 6, dude. Got a net worth of $6 million and you don't want to necessarily deal with all the stuff, you know, and you just want to live kind of a quiet, private life. More power to you, my friend. I don't need advice from my doubts right now. End of conversation. Shut your mouth. Better tone it down. Close it now. So he's talking to doubt. If you make a sound, I'm going to change the dial. Funny how they be. So yeah, if I start hearing you speaking, dude, I'm switching stations. Funny how they be acting loud, come in unannounced. Gosh, dude, this is such a good song. It's so insightful because these thoughts, these doubts, these fears, insecurities, they come in unannounced. If you could, you would never let them into your mind, but you can't. So it is always something we're managing, something we're surrendering. And I think when we can build that kind of relationship with those things, it's just like, okay, you're here. I didn't invite you here. Let me handle it. Let me deal with it. Let me manage it. Let me surrender it. Floating around, man. The kid is wild, pretty vile, true. Kind of funny, but don't really show it. I keep it together, but have a disorder. I go to my room and I sit in my corner. Talk to myself in a language that's foreign. That's interesting. You know, I'm not saying this is it, but from a Christian perspective, and, you know, the scriptures do speak of speaking in tongues as a spiritual gift, meaning God inspires a language that you do not know that you speak, but it's said that if that's to be done in public, like in worship atmospheres, there must be an interpretation, or else you're just speaking gibberish and nobody's helpful and you should keep quiet to yourself. But some believe that tongues, yes, is a spiritual gift. Some believe that it's not active anymore. You can see it in the book of Acts, even when the church begins, when the Holy Spirit fills the original disciples, those that were gathered in the upper room after Jesus ascended to heaven. Jesus said, go and wait and pray. I'm sending a gift from the Father. And before you go do anything, you need this gift. So when the Holy Spirit comes in, it says there's a mighty rushing wind, these tongues as if a fire rested upon their heads, and they began to speak in these other languages, because at that time, Jewish people from all the nations had gathered, or all the areas had gathered to Jerusalem and speaking different languages. And as they begin to speak different languages, all these people hear them speaking and praising God in their own language. So you have that, but then there is a belief that there is a personal speaking in tongues that you do. It's not for everybody else. It's a language that you pray, that you don't really know what you're praying, but your spirit, your inner man is edified or lifted. It's a stretch on this one, but I'm just saying, whether that foreign language for him is like prayer, speaking in tongues, or just a way that he's learned through therapy and things like that to deal with the things going on. But I thought it was worth mentioning. I think of a rhyme and I have to record it, but I know if I don't, I'll wake up in the morning and question my life again, always avoidant. I hate to be different, but hate to be normal. Jeez, dude. Whoa. So obviously this is that idea of, we've all probably been laying in bed at night and had an idea or a thought, and it's like, dude, I should go do something with that, but you don't want to. But then if you don't, you feel awful as well. So there's that part of it. But then there's this, I hate to be different, but hate to be normal. That's that frustration with fame, right? I hate to be different, meaning I think you could take that in a way of like him not being mainstream, like, because you're different. And especially if you're not posting on social media all the time, touring all the time, going on all the talk shows, it's like, oh, well, if he'd only do that, then he would be whatever, bigger. That would be kind of the normal. And so he's like, I hate to be different because I feel like I probably could do more and could be more in the buzz. But then I also hate to do the normal thing and be that. And this like going back and forth between the two, I think is so relatable. Hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go, watch them float away. Okay, so that's the pre-chorus we've seen. Chorus repeating. Verse 3. Remember back in No Name? I said fame called. I told you I hung up. It kind of felt wrong. Finally called him back. We didn't talk long. He asked me how I'd been. I sent him this song. Yeah, I think he took offense. He kind of seemed off because obviously the song is combating fame. I texted him that night to ask what he thought. Took a couple days to get a response. Dude, this is all so relatable because it's almost like he's the personification of fame is like thinking about it. You don't get that text right back. You're like, oh gosh. But once I finally did, he said this song sucks. Feel the symptoms, couldn't miss them, wrestle with them. Then I pin and flip them, brought some back up. No, well, you should get some. Who you dissin'? Mood is switching. Don't come in the kitchen. You should listen. Cooking record for my hands are blistering. So persistent, don't forget this. Hold the tension, soul is bending. No pretending, open-ended. Low percentage, so demented. Whole consensus, flow tremendous, no apprentice, dope incentive, show intensive, so possessive, tone aggressive, watch your step. Gosh, that part was so hard, dude. All right, pre-chorus and then the chorus repeating. Honestly, a really brilliant piece of writing, man. It's just so insightful. NF continues to give wisdom in the midst of his challenges. He's so open and honest and authentic. And I think that that's why people really respect him. So let me know your thoughts on this. If you saw anything that I didn't see, and just drop that in the comments. We can have a conversation there. Thanks for being with me for this one. I hope to see you in the next one because we're eating good.